What's up, Delta fanboys? Today on the Gear Locker, we're talking about Pro Tec helmets. But not this crap. We're going even more old school. That's right, we're taking a deep dive into all the details on how to pick out the best helmet for a 90s Delta style kit. So if you've recently watched Black Hawk Down and want to build yourself one of those fancy loadouts, but want to do it actually historically correct, stay tuned, because that's what we got coming up today. Before we get too into it, this is not a comprehensive how-to video. Stay tuned for one of those later on this channel, where I'm going to show you how to take one of these and turn it into an accurate helmet. Because let's face it, you don't want to get the wrong thing, and you also don't want to spend $300 on an original that's probably not even going to be the correct size anyway. So taking period style helmets, like this one here, and turning it into something usable is probably the best option right now. Maybe until Sheck and Gears comes out with theirs, but either way, this is going to be the most correct. And what you'll see here is 3 different iterations of the Pro Tec classic skate style helmet. You can get the full ear one, you can also get other versions, but these are the primary ones that you see. This is 3 different generations of it though. So there's a lot of differences that will help you determine if your helmet is going to be period accurate. Let's start with taking a look at the most correct, and that is the 80s helmet. Now, as brightly colored as these helmets are, they are without a doubt the best option to replicate a period style Delta Force helmet. There's quite a few features and aspects of this helmet that make it far more accurate than later versions, and we're going to talk about that later in this video. But for now, let's discuss the main key features of an 80s or early 90s style Delta helmet. Now keep in mind, this is through my experience of buying many of them, as well as contacting and talking with Pro Tec directly about different iterations that they've produced. The classic Pro Tec skate helmet is an open ear design. To attach the chin straps, we have 2 open hole rivets here. And these chin straps are attached with a D-ring connection point and a square buckle. You'll see vent holes properly placed all around the helmet and a white foam liner with a soft open cell yellowed foam on the inside. The neat thing about these is, from my research, these helmet shells are all the same size. Only the foam on the inside determines the particular sizing. And what you'll notice is that across all of these examples, the aspects are the same. This example did not come with any foam inside, but it is a good showcase of how the helmet pads are attached. You can see that there were small Velcro cut squares all around the inside of the helmet to attach the closed foam lining. And for the rest of this video, we're going to be using my pink helmet because it's in the best condition. Now, something very particular is this white lining on the inside. This is iconic to those 90s Delta kits. You'll see in many photos, unless they were painted over, this white lining here. And many times you can see the soft yellow lining as well. So now let's compare this 80s or early 90s style with one that came just after, approximately through 94, 95. As you can see, the shaping is nearly identical. It is not without its differences, but it is very close. From the flat helmet cutouts, the holes in the front and the rear, to the general styling, everything is almost spot on. However, there are absolutely some key differences in just the shaping of the helmet alone, and that comes in the ear cutouts. What we'll notice in the earlier 80s style is that this ear cutout is almost sort of rectangular, whereas on the mid-90s style, we'll see a more rounded ear cutout. Side by side, this is very apparent to see. Additionally, we'll notice that the rivets are updated to a new style. These are fully flattened, whereas the older ones, of course, have those holes. The good news is, the chin straps remained relatively the same. We still have our 2 D-rings, and we have, although it is a slightly different material, our Y-strap here. The only other difference is that the buckles changed ever so slightly. On the 80s one, we'll see a Fastex buckle here with this styling, whereas on the 90s one, particularly this one being dated 1996, it is slightly different. Not anything major whatsoever, but something to note. They will not clip together. They are not compatible. But the most stark difference that you'll notice right out of the gate is that foam lining. It is very similar in design. In fact, the cutouts look to be identical. However, it's an entirely different color. There is a photo from a Delta operator that leads me to believe that there may have been one of these, but it's not necessarily confirmed or denied because there's many factors, and it would be a one-off rather than the norm. And you should never base your impression on the exception, unless you're going for a one-to-one. Regardless, this foam lining here is more than likely not correct. However, in my professionally unprofessional LARP opinion, this can be modified to look just as good as this, with that exception of that ear cutout. Oregon Aero sells pad upgrade kits, or you can cut your own. And the minorly different buckle design, I don't think is anything to worry about too much. Of course, if you want to be most correct, go for one of these. But let's jump onto an option that is without a doubt the worst one to go with, and all too many Delta kit wannabes use it. And that's the modern skate helmet. Don't get me wrong, it's still a Pro Tec. The effort is there, the shaping is generally the same, but there are far too many differences with the modern Pro Tec compared to the ones used back in the 80s and 90s. First and foremost, on the updated one, every single hole is beveled. It is not a flat cut, nor does it have as sharp of an edge as the ones on the 80s. The shaping of these helmets is very different as well. What you'll notice, again, we have a rectangular ear cutout here, but on the modern one, it is a far more rounded ear cut, even more so than the one from the 90s. Let me show you what that looks like. It's closer, but again, neither of these are correct. We're basing it off of the 80s one. And finally, just on the outside, you'll see that the rivets have the Pro Tec stamping on it. Flipping it over to the inside, and this is where it gets pretty atrocious. The cuts are relatively the same, but the padding, aside from being entirely different, is covered in this kind of felt-like material. And the chin straps are some of the worst offenders. I see too many of these chin straps on Delta kit builders, when we should be seeing these D-ring style. These are a quick adjust Y style, and not at all correct for the Delta kits. But Gear.Locker, where do I even find one of them? Fantastic question, my little farblet. These three are not all for me. Don't worry, I'm not a gear hog. I'm the Gear.Locker. I have quite a few friends who are working on this kit with me, and we will be doing a dye party to get them all looking just perfect. And of course show you along the way. I would highly recommend looking at eBay. For some reason lately it's been pretty slow, but you can still find white foam Pro Tec helmets for relatively inexpensive on there. The first one I bought was this yellow one, and it cost me about 60 bucks, which is kind of expensive for something that's beat up and old like this, but for those who know, you know. These two helmets I got in a lot together for $30 shipped. There are plenty of deals out there on eBay, just keep your eyes out. But keep in mind, there are plenty more options. Plenty of the full ear ones I see all the time on eBay. In fact, I think there's like 5 or 6 on right now with the white foam. So keep an eye out on there, as well as in Facebook groups and Facebook Marketplace. These without a doubt have popped up there in recent months. But also keep an eye out for something that Shekin Gears might be doing. I know sometimes they can have not the best quality, sometimes they have fantastic quality. So I'm very curious, and I'd love to do a side-by-side review to show you guys what are some of the differences, similarities, and how good they got it. Thank you all so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it and got some really good info out of it. I've enjoyed making it, and I've enjoyed collecting these, and I hope you're as excited as I am for the showcase video of how to convert it from something like this to something that is awesome looking. Stay tuned on the Gear.Locker, and we'll see you guys in the next one.